Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are at exactly 100 subscribers. Again, I am really blown away by the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. If you have any criticism, please let me know. Please subscribe, please like. It really, really means a lot. I can't really set a goal for myself now because my initial goal was to get to 100 subscribers by election day. We have clearly blown through that. So I'm just going to say right now, please subscribe. And it would really mean a lot to me. So, moving into this prediction right now, I have the Republicans at 41 seats. I'm giving them, for the benefit of the doubt, I'm giving them Alaska and Mississippi as safe. These might be likely margins depending on Joe Biden's strength in these states, in a lot of these southern states. However, I'm going to be giving them as safe because Donald Trump is likely to carry these by close to safe margins, and we know how they're voting. We know how these states are going to vote. There's no potential for the Democrats to win here, in the same way that there's no potential for the Republicans to win in Virginia, which I think would be a comparable margin to something like a traditionally red state. However, it has been moving more towards the left in the same way that Virginia is a traditionally right state that has been moving significantly towards the left. So Virginia will be safe blue. And that will put the Democrats at 42 and the Republicans at 41. Again, it is possible to say perhaps Virginia goes likely, but polling has suggested, and polling has been wrong, but polling has suggested that Mark Warner will win here by around 17 points, which would be a safe margin. He's likely to overperform Joe Biden, who is probably going to win here by around 10. So I'm going to be giving that as safe to Mark Warner. Moving forward, I'm going to start on the West Coast and we'll move towards the East Coast into the state of Montana. At this point, I'm going to be giving it as a lean to the incumbent Steve Daines. Steve Bullock not doing as well as he once was. I think I mentioned that in a previous video. But Steve Bullock is a strong Democratic candidate. He was the former governor of the state as well. It is possible for him to pull off an upset, but polling has shown that the Republican is ahead here in the same way that Donald Trump is ahead here. It's going to be closer, more competitive than on the presidential level. However, I'm still going to be giving it to the Republicans, probably around a 3 to 5% victory. Joe Biden doesn't have a realistic chance of winning here, and for that reason, Montana will stay in the Republican column. Moving forward, I'm going to go into the state of Arizona. Arizona at this point, I'm going to be giving it as a lean. However, it is possible that Mark Kelly comes out with a likely margin in this state. The reason being is that I believe that Joe Biden will probably carry this state by a tilt to a lean margin, and Mark Kelly is significantly outperforming Joe Biden in terms of fundraising. Not to say that Joe Biden is doing bad. However, Mark Kelly is a very, very strong candidate, former astronaut. Martha McSally is a very, very weak candidate who already lost. So she lost to a weaker Democrat. So there's really no way for her to win against a very, very strong astronaut and a very, very strong Senate candidate. So continuing on into the state of New Mexico. At this point, I forgot to characterize it. I'm going to be giving it as safe. It's probably going to be more towards the likely end. I predict probably a 17, 18-point victory for the incumbent. However, a state like Colorado would be lean for John Hickenlooper. The reason being is that incumbency is a very important factor. Looking into states like Colorado and Arizona, even though Colorado will probably vote 8 points towards Joe Biden, it's going to be closer on the Senate level because of Cory Gardner's incumbency. He is a Republican incumbent, but realistically, his support for Donald Trump means in a state that is traditionally blue has moved significantly towards the left. He likely is not going to have a chance here, and John Hickenlooper will probably walk out winning this race by around 4 to 5%. Moving forward into the state of Texas. Texas at this point, I'm going to be giving as likely for John Cornyn. Now, Donald Trump is likely to underperform Cornyn's margin. He's probably going to come out of Texas with a 4 to 5% victory. Based on polling, which has been wrong, Donald Trump has Donald Trump, this is one of the only swing states where Donald Trump is leading, is what I meant to say. He is losing, according to polls, in the Rust Belt. He's losing in states like Florida and North Carolina. However, Texas, he is still hanging on to. It'll probably be a lean margin for Donald Trump, and John Cornyn, very well known in the state, much more popular than someone like a Ted Cruz, who was able to win despite Beto O'Rourke's strength in the 2018 midterms. So I'm just going to be giving this as likely to John Cornyn. It's definitely going to be in the Republican column. Moving into Kansas. Kansas as well is going to be likely. Now, that might shock some people. However, Barbara Boyer is a very, very strong fundraiser. Roger Marshall, again, this state has moved slightly to the left, even though he's a traditional Republican candidate, probably still going to win convincingly, but it's not going to be a safe margin like in Oklahoma or a Louisiana. It'll probably be closer towards the 10-point victory, perhaps single digits, if Joe Biden is able to run competitive in a lot of these very important swing states. Moving forward into the state of Alabama. Alabama will also be likely for the GOP. The reason being is that Doug Jones is actually above water. He has more favorable than he is unfavorable in the state of Alabama. However, Donald Trump is likely to win this state by upwards of 20 points. And in a state that is just so conservative, it's really notorious for being the most conservative state in the country. He doesn't really have a realistic chance. Even if Joe Biden is winning in a landslide, let's say hypothetically, it'll still probably be a lean or a tilt. It's not going to vote. It's voting for Donald Trump, who at this point is more likely to lose than he is to win. But that doesn't mean that Alabama will be at all competitive. I'm going to be putting it as likely for Tuberville, probably going to win by around 7 to 8%. And the Democrats know, even though polling is closer than a traditional Alabama Senate race, they're likely to lose here. Moving forward into Georgia, I'm going to characterize both of these at the same time. I'm going to be giving Georgia the special election as tilt Republican, and I'll be giving Georgia's at large will be a lean margin. The reason why is I think that the special election obviously closer with Jon Ossoff. However, this is a traditionally Republican state. Donald Trump will probably very, very narrowly win here by around a point or two. And these Republicans have shown that they have overperformed Donald Trump's margins. It'll probably be around a 3 to 4% victory for the incumbent. However, the special election I'll be giving as tilt towards the Republicans at this point. Moving into the state of South Carolina, things have very, very recently closed, and Jamie Harrison has shown to be a tremendous fundraiser in the same way that Mark Kelly is. Lindsey Graham does not have a lot of money in the bank, kind of trying to maintain that Trumpian perspective that Lindsey Graham has is not working in a state like South Carolina. Again, Donald Trump is very, very likely to win here. Even though it could be a single-digit victory, Donald Trump will still win, which at this point I'm going to be giving it as likely. It'll probably be around a 5 to 6% victory, so it'll fall right into that likely category. However, the possibility of a Jamie Harrison upset here is much, much more likely than in a state like Alabama or, for example, Barbara Boyer upsetting in the state of Kansas. Moving forward at this point, Kentucky. Polling has been very good for Mitch McConnell. He's not going to lose here. Democrats know that even in their dream scenario, Mitch McConnell will not lose to Amy McGrath. It's too conservative a state, and I don't even see it as a likely margin. It'll probably be closer towards a likely margin than his previous elections where he was able to win by 30 points. It might be more of a 20-point victory for the incumbent Mitch McConnell. Obviously, being the Senate Majority Leader, this is going to be safe. I just left it on the map because of the possibility of it potentially going likely. Donald Trump is going to have a safe victory here. It will be safe for Mitch McConnell. Nothing that the Republicans have to worry about. Now, at this point, the Republicans are at 49. The Democrats are at 45. Again, the Republicans are playing defense in a number of traditionally conservative states. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt in the South, and this map, I would say, is probably one where Joe Biden has a narrow electoral victory. Regardless, I think this is probably going to be the outcome. If Donald Trump wins the election, it'll probably end up going to this map anyway. But moving into Iowa, at this point is extremely, extremely close. Joni Ernst and Teresa Greenfield are very, very close in terms of polling. At this point, it's up in the air. I don't necessarily know how to characterize it. I'm going to be giving it as tilt Republican because Donald Trump will probably hang on to Iowa by a lean margin, 2 to 3 points. I'm going to be giving this as a tilt to Joni Ernst, which again puts the Republicans at 50. Now we have a number of Democratic states to characterize, but if the Republicans were to hold at where they are and the Democrats win every other state, it would be a tie, and the vice president would break that tie. And in this case, the more likely outcome is that Kamala Harris becomes the vice president, which would give the Democrats control of this chamber of Congress. Moving into Minnesota, I think that Joe Biden will probably have a 5 to 6 point victory here. I'm going to be given as likely because I think that Tina Smith is likely to outperform Joe Biden here, even though both will win. It's a traditionally left state. I know there will probably be people in the comments who disagree with this characterization, want me to put it as lean. That's reasonable, but at this point, I'm going to be giving it as likely just because of the state's voting history. Michigan as well, I'm going to be putting as likely for Gary Peters, even though his name recognition, he doesn't have too much in the state. It is one that will probably vote for Joe Biden, and for that reason, I'm going to be giving it as likely, and Gary Peters has run a little bit above or running on par with Joe Biden. So for that reason, I'm going to be giving it as likely for Gary Peters in Michigan. We have 3 states left: New Hampshire, Maine, and North Carolina. At this point, Maine, I'm going to be giving as a lean to Sarah Gideon. The reason why is that Susan Collins' vote, not only on the Brett Kavanaugh, but also her positions on a lot of these Supreme Court justices will make a difference in this state. And this is not one state that is going to forget the vote. And in a traditionally left state where even Republican pundits agree that this will go to Joe Biden, at least 3 of the electoral votes will. It's really hard to foresee in an event where Susan Collins wins unless Donald Trump is winning the election convincingly, in which case she would probably hold on by a lean or tilt margin. But given that again, Joe Biden is likely to have a narrow victory, at least on election night, I'm going to be giving it as lean. She's a very strong fundraiser, especially because of Susan Collins' vote on Brett Kavanaugh, which is going to make a difference. And I'm going to be giving that as a lean. I'm also going to give New Hampshire at this point. Surprisingly enough, 538 and Real Clear Politics marks it as safe. At this point, I'm going to be giving it as likely to lean. I'm going to err on the side of caution and giving it as a lean to the Democrats. It will vote. I think that Joe Biden will probably have a tilt or a lean victory here, which again runs on par. That down ballot effect will be important in a state like New Hampshire, which leaves the state of North Carolina. North Carolina, again, the closest toss-up on the map. Donald Trump might win here. It's possible that he wins here, but Joe Biden has been holding on to a narrow 1 to 2% polling lead. Again, polling has been wrong, but Cunningham is a better candidate than Joe Biden to win a state like North Carolina. His polling has been very, very good despite scandals recently. Tom Tillis, not much name recognition either in this state, which for that reason I'm going to be giving it as a tilt to the Democrats. And if you give North Carolina as a tilt, you give Iowa as a tilt to the Republicans. We're talking about the Democrats flipping Arizona, flipping North Carolina, flipping the state of Maine, as well as the state of Colorado. Again, Colorado, Maine are 2 states that voted for Hillary Clinton. They're very, very likely to go for Joe Biden, and they're very, very likely to go blue on the Senate level. We're not going to see a lot of transitioning over from the presidential map to the Senate map. In other words, the states that vote blue are going blue on the Senate map, and the states that vote red, such as South Carolina and Alabama, are going red. And because at this point, Joe Biden it is very, very feasible for him to win the state of North Carolina, and I do think that Cal Cunningham is a stronger candidate. For that reason alone, I will be giving this as a tilt, very, very close victory within 1% for the Democrats. Again, as I said, it is a pure toss-up, 50-50. In the Senate, whoever wins the presidency will decide who is the majority leader. Either it will be Chuck Schumer or Mitch McConnell. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, Please like, please subscribe if you enjoyed. Please offer any criticism. It is really, really appreciated. Thanks so much, everyone. I will see you in the next one.